Hey y'all. Hope you can hear me okay. I'm Erin Monday. I am a thought leader in the social media space. I started out my career about 10 years ago in the SEO area, and I've been in the field working with major tech companies like IBM, Lenovo, and Nutanix ever since then. Specializing in social media for B2B and the enterprise. So I don't have a snowball mic or anything like that because I've never really taken the time to blog or talk about my technical expertise before. This is actually the first time. So I'm going to use this as a gauge. If you guys like it and you want to hear more, let me know. And in the meantime, I'm wearing this dorky ass headset that I use for gaming. Which games do I play? Right now, it's a lot of Civ 6 and Overwatch. I'm in my living room basically, so you kind of can see behind me into my life. It looks like that lamp's a little lopsided. Sorry in advance. All right, so let's get to the point. Today, I want to talk a little bit about enterprise social media platforms, which I know is super, super sexy stuff and probably only relevant to a very small audience. Apologies in advance if you're not looking for that kind of content, but that's what we're going to talk about today. This is an unsponsored post. I am just kind of going to be sharing my thoughts about the many years of experience that I have in the field as far as what's worked and not worked for me. Typically, every different company has its own social media platform. They use it for different things, primarily scheduling, publishing, and all that jazz. It's sort of your go-to. Like when you want to schedule a post, you want to see how it did. Usually you have built-in reporting. There's extra features and functions like listening that I'm not really going to talk to. I'm going to stick only to publishing, scheduling, and reporting. All right. Sort of the gold standard in the enterprise space is this tool called Sprinklr. Sprinklr was developed by a few former Cisco type people. It is sort of like, if I already probably just said this, I'm not going to edit this video at all, so I'm just going to re-say it. But it's sort of like the gold standard in enterprise social media management. Okay, so also, this thing's a little heavy. Getting back to this. So it's sort of the gold standard, and it is what it is. It's the bad parts of it are it's slow, it's cumbersome, it's expensive. When I was trying out their app, they were like, yeah, we have an app. And I went in, I'm like, oh, cool, an app. And I opened it up and it was just like gray, spiraling doom. And as a social media manager, you want to be in the thick of things. You want to be running around. You want to be creating content, publishing content. You don't want to be sitting there like waiting for your content to load, right? It also doesn't have great functionality for multi-publishing across platform. A lot of organizations are like, ooh, we need to publish this to LinkedIn and this to Twitter. A lot of the time, if you tell a good story, it's going to perform really well cross-platform. So having that functionality is really, really important. And Sprinklr doesn't have that very easily. You kind of have to schedule one post for here, one post for here. It's very tedious and it starts to add up. As far as licenses go, when I was exploring pricing about a year ago, I found out that a single license with access to the software was about $100,000, which is quite a lot of money. Right? And that's for one license. So if you're an enterprise, you have teammates in EMEA, teammates in APAC that are on social media, which means you're going to need a license for each of them. And that can quickly add up to 150,000 plus. So it's pretty expensive. It's prohibitively expensive. It's really for large organizations that perhaps don't care about being agile. I will say there are benefits. So one, Sprinklr being the main player, they have a lot of these relationships with the OEMs of the social media world. So they have really good relationships with Twitter. When Twitter has a new API, they've got Sprinklr on the line, right? Like Sprinklr's always in the loop. Ditto for LinkedIn, Facebook, all that stuff. So they've got sort of the inside track because they got the dough. It tends to work, albeit work slowly. I will also say it tends to support more platforms than any other social media scheduling tool, publishing tool, including APAC. So a lot of the other players in the space do not support APAC or Chinese networks when Sprinklr does. So if you truly are a global company and you truly are investing in social media, and like by that I mean you have a budget in APAC and a social media manager in APAC, then it's probably worth it to go to Sprinklr. And if you're not, then it's time to move on. That brings me to my personal favorite platform and the one that I always use. I am very biased, by the way. And I admit that fully. And this is, again, not a sponsored post. So my favorite enterprise social media publishing tool is Sprout Social. So Sprout actually, Honestly, it's probably more of a mid-sized business tool, but they're starting to add more and more features that kind of bring it in line with being competitive with Sprinklr. The only thing it doesn't have is basically sort of that APAC, you know, tie-in that Sprinklr does. Everything else is about 10 times better. The mobile app is incredibly beautiful and easy to use. The UI is very simple. Licenses are fairly cheap when you want to start to scale out. If you scaled out an entire social media department worldwide, you'd probably be looking at about $50,000, and that's not counting advanced analytics or listening or anything like that. So much more budget friendly, and the price points are much lower if you have less licenses. So for, you know, a one-man band or a one-person band for social media, you can probably get away with like $300 a month. So not too shabby, and then you can grow into it as you go and scale up. So it's a really great tool. Other things, they do have keyword alerts, which means, you know, if I want something to pop up on my phone, the capabilities with Instagram right now are really badly broken, not just for Sprout, but for everywhere. Facebook is tinkering with Instagram's algorithm. So whether you're on Hootsuite, so whether you're on Hootsuite or Sprinklr or Sprout, you're going to be having issues with publishing right now to Instagram and reporting and all that stuff because they're making moves on the back end. So it's not a Sprout thing. I'm sort of going off on a tangent. Not gonna go there. So Sprout, amazing, do it. Platform. So was sort of the OG. They were the original social media publishing platforms. They've got a pretty good run on the market, right? They have a user base, they have a reputation, they have a brand, and they're a pretty solid tool. I would say for a small business or an individual, they're really great. I don't love their UI. I don't find it. I don't know. I just don't like it. And if you do some Reddit searches, like unbiased, like you can go search, you know, good experiences. You'll find there's lots of recent posts about things not going through, or you know, posts and other tools have those issues as well. Again, that's tied to the third-party API. So Buffer is really good for sort of individuals. It's free. You could definitely use it as a startup or a small business for just basic scheduling and analytics. You know, it doesn't have any bells and whistles. The UI is very simple and clean. For the small business, for the startup, for the individual, I really would recommend Buffer. And then for the mid-level company and for the enterprise, I would say you definitely want to start getting into Sprout. So my two recs are Sprout and Buffer. I wrote all this down in a blog on my website, which is erinmonday.org. Swing by if you want more social media tips. I think our next entry will be about social media video, which is going to be really, really fun. I'm going to try to shoot that tomorrow. All right, weird dance. I'm out of here. Bye.